going to take back our country, and we're going to make Israel great again, and we're going to make America great again. America great again. America great again.
The fact that this world and the next world are asymmetrical. The next world is where the majority of a person's actions, which determines identity, are compensated for the righteous. They exist in the world to come. They're rewarded. For those whose wage or complexion is black are excluded from the world to come. Wage or complexion is black are excluded from the world to come. Wage or complexion is black are excluded.
Hitler was, and the Nazis, of course, expanded on Margaret Sanger's approach to eugenics, right? Eugenics was a movement that was born in the United States under hard doctrines of racism with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African American community in this country. Right? To eliminate.
One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out, and it will end immediately. End. It'll end immediately.
But big picture here, we are in the middle of something really radical in this country. Not just to get rid of our constitutional republic, to replace our form of government with something else, but to get rid of the multiracial democracy that our Constitution is supposed to protect. It is a war on Black America. It is a war on Black America. It is a war on Black America.
היי, רציתי לשתף
I wanted to share something.
אחרי תקופה ארוכה שאני
After a long time of carrying this with me.
קוראים לי שושנה.
My name is Shoshana Strog. I went through sexual abuse in my childhood by both of my parents.
הפגיעה המינית סוג
The sexual abuse was filmed, which means it was used for child pornography.
שימש לפורנוגרפיית ילדים. בתקופה
Recently, a
האחרונה,
number of memories came back to me of the assault itself.
מספר זיכרונות מהפגיעה עצמה. והבנתי
I understood that it was
שכנראה
probably
מדובר
also a
בפגיעה
ritual abuse.
יצרתי קשר
I contacted a woman on Facebook who tells a lot about ritual abuse that she also went through, and she referred me to someone named Nama Goldberg. Nama Goldberg, in fact, she told me that. She has a lot of information about ritual abuse. It took me a few days to contact Nama Goldberg, and when I contacted her, she was immediately available in an instant, and it seemed like she had been waiting on me to contact. And she actually sent me some kind of article that had just been published. I wasn't able to read the article to begin with, because of course it scared me very, very much. Actually, I won't tell you all the details, but what happened in my interaction with Nama Goldberg, it is that she actually hinted to me quite clearly, as it were, as if she was supporting me. But I actually realized that they have all of these pornographic videos. Nama literally said that she could ask someone to get these videos, which means that she has a direct connection to the person who has all this information. And it kind of scared me, and she threatened me that these videos can be published. And then I realized that this was a much, much more organized crime. I was also sexually abused as a child, but also actually, apparently, that I'm currently under threat from larger criminal figures. I feel threatened. I filed a complaint with the police about my parents before I left the country. Now I returned to Israel in panic because I realized that I was actually threatened by criminal figures. I asked Israel police to protect me both from these criminal figures and from my family. I would be happy for the public's help in spreading this to every possible party. And, of course, I will contact the police directly later day. Of course, this is very important. Thank you all for your support. I really appreciate the help in this regard.
The ritual abuse is different than other forms of sex trafficking because it's more than just being forced to have sexual relations with someone against your will. It's sacrifices of animals and people. It's in the middle of the night being taken from your home and taken to an undisclosed location. And sometimes they don't remember where they were taken, so then they don't even know if it was real. Sometimes it's underground. And then these are rituals, meaning it happens on a regular basis. So whether it's once a week, once a month, but it happens regularly for years and years and years.
Shoshana Struk, the daughter of Israeli minister Orit Struk, has been found dead. The 34-year-old was found dead at her home in northern Israel. The circumstances of her death remain unclear, and the police have opened an investigation into the case. But a small protest took place in Jerusalem after her death because of her shocking history. Since last year, Shoshana had been accusing her own parents of sexually abusing her and forcing her to take part in sexual abuse rituals. She accused her mother, the Israeli settlements minister, of taking her to what she called pedophile ceremonies. From the age of only 2.5, Shoshana Struk had put up multiple social media posts and testimonies about the abuse. She had also filed a police complaint. The Israeli police have said that they were unable to verify any of Shoshana Struk's claims, but the details of their investigation is still unclear. What's more, an Israeli court had issued a gag order on the investigation, which prevented Israeli media from publishing details about the case.
Minister's daughter found dead after accusing parents of abuse. What's the story? The death of Shoshana Struk, the 34-year-old daughter of Israeli settlement minister Orit Struk, has sparked widespread controversy across Israel, particularly in light of serious allegations she previously made against her parents. According to Israeli media reports, Shoshana was found dead inside her home, prompting authorities to launch an investigation into the circumstances surrounding her death. No official cause of death has been confirmed so far. Her mother, Minister Orit Struk, publicly mourned her daughter in a post on social media, expressing deep sorrow over the loss. However, the case quickly moved beyond a personal tragedy and into the public spotlight due to Shoshana's past statements.
Speaking of pedophilia, suppose a man says, I view animated child porn. So there's no real victim in that sense of child pornography, which we both agree is horrendous. And by viewing animated child porn, it prevents me from acting out sexually on a child. Now, I deny that. I think that pornography inflames us to then want to act those fantasies out, and I think there's good studies that back that up. But surely you wouldn't say to the man who views animated child pornography, that's not bad so long as you don't act it out. Wouldn't you want to help this poor sick dude?
Yes, I would, but I'm thrilled that he's not acting it out. I mean,
agreed.
Okay,
of course.
Well, that's big.
Yeah.
We're both thrilled that he might have a poor substitute, but it is a substitute if that were the case. No child is being used. Yeah. It's all animated.
Yeah.
And he
but would you use the word evil of animated child pornography? Because I certainly would.
No, I would use evil only with behavior. That's where we might differ, forgetting the sex issue. You can't be evil. You didn't do evil if you thought evil. You did evil if you committed. If I'm masturbating
to animated pictures of pornography, I'm not doing something evil.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think that's despicable. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, of course.
Who is being hurt? You have to have a victim.
Oh, I'll tell you, there's at least two people being hurt. There's the person who's poisoning himself by encouraging him to think, acting out on children, and there's also the animator.
Okay, wait a minute. We both are aching for him not to have those fantasies. I agree with you, but
you won't call it evil.
I won't call a fantasy evil. There's too much real evil on Earth for me to start being preoccupied with people's thinking.
It's not just thinking; it's him masturbating to images of children.
So now the real question about the whole pornography issue is not pornography; it's masturbation. There is a Catholic tradition.
I disagree. I think it's both. I think both masturbation is evil, but I think pornography is a greater evil.
Okay, so I don't think masturbation is evil.
We are now joined by David Saltzman, who is a member of the now infamous synagogues in Brooklyn. We've all heard the news story about these tunnels that were discovered underneath this synagogue. And there's a lot of theories going around the internet about why these tunnels exist, a lot of conspiracy theories, wild accusations going on. So we brought David here as a member of the synagogue to set the record straight of any rumors going around why these tunnels exist.
Police make a wild discovery underneath a synagogue in Brooklyn.
An illegal tunnel found below the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Crown Heights.
All right, Fox 5's Lisa Evers takes a look at how it was discovered.
9 men are facing charges this afternoon after police say they dug a secret tunnel into the sanctuary of the Chabad Lubavitch headquarters in Brooklyn.
The men described by police as extremist students are accused of digging the tunnel so that they would be able to have access to the sanctuary after hours. And when a cement truck was brought in to fill that tunnel, the men stood in the tunnel, refusing to leave.
And I want to be clear, there's been conflicting reporting on this story. When I was reading about it recently, there were claims that the tunnel was built specifically to skirt COVID orders that closed down religious buildings and that people wanted to continue worshiping. And so they needed a secret pathway or passageway into the synagogue. But I don't think that's really what's going on here. So why was the secret tunnel built in the first place? This is where it gets complicated.
There was one more viral image going around, and this is the one everyone's been talking about. Is this, Dirk just pulled up on screen, stained mattress that was pulled out of the tunnel being carried by members of the synagogue. So there's a lot of crazy conspiracy theories. I don't want to go down any tasteless rabbit holes. But David, if you could, explain why was there a mattress in the tunnels and what is this stain? A lot of folks are wondering, is this stain feces?
No, it's not feces.
What is
it? It's blood, and basically we did rituals. I said that before. There were some rituals that we do in the tunnels, and sometimes the rituals might involve someone who recently died, and we'll bring him down there, and we're trying to do a ritual to bring back the Messiah, which is a schneerson, if you heard about him on the news. So he died many years ago.
Looking with lust is not a sin in Judaism.
What's the stance on pornography?
So pornography, when I'm asked this question...
Just to put you on the spot.
You did indeed. Okay, so my answer, when it's raised on my radio show, I have a male-female hour, and I'm very open about sexual subjects. I always ask if a wife calls me and says, my husband looks at pornography, I found on his computer, I have one question. How is your life of intimacy with your husband? Is it good? In other words, is the pornography in lieu of you or in addition to you? Mm-hmm. And I know this is not a religious answer, and mm-hmm. I'm not even giving a religious answer. I'm giving what I think is a moral and realistic answer. Men want variety. And if adultery is a substitute for, if pornography is a substitute for one's wife, it's awful. If it's a substitute for adultery, it's not awful. That is my unpredictable answer.
Well, there is a clinical rule of thumb that's akin to that, I would say. If you're trying to decide clinically whether someone's partaking in a habit, say use of alcohol, has reached the threshold of clinical significance, one of the things you do is ask the person you're assessing, now, is it interfering with your employment? Has it got you in trouble with the law? Is your family complaining? Does it stop you from doing other things that you should be doing? And so the judgment isn't the use of the forbidden substance itself. It is in some sense consequentialist. And I'm not saying that that's an absolute, but it is a hallmark of clinical judgment.
As a child, my next guest was used also in worshiping the devil, participated in human sacrifice rituals and cannibalism. She says her family has been involved in rituals for generations. She is currently in extensive therapy, suffers from multiple personality disorder, meaning she's blocked out many of the terrifying and painful memories of her childhood. Meet Rachel, who is also in disguise to protect her identity. My next guest treats ritually abused children in her therapist practice. She feels that the problem is much more widespread than any of us can imagine. Says there's no doubt in her mind that the children and adults that she treats are telling the truth. Tina Grossman, we're glad to have all of you join us here on the show. You come from generations of ritualistic abuse?
Yes, my family has an extensive family tree, and they keep track of who's been involved and who hasn't been involved. And it's gone back to like 1700.
And so you were ritually abused.
I was born into a family that believes in this.
And this is, does everyone else think it's a nice Jewish family? From the outside, you appear to be a nice Jewish girl.
Definitely.
And you all are worshiping the devil inside the home?
Right. There's other Jewish families across the country. It's not just my own family.
Really? And so who knows about it? Lots of people now.
I talked to a police detective in the Chicago area, and several of my friends know, and I've spoke publicly before. And
so when you were brought up in this kind of evilness, did you just think it was normal?
I blocked out a lot of the memories I had because of my multiple personality disorder. But yes, I mean, it's like if you grow up with something, you think it's normal. Mm-hmm. I always thought.
So what kinds of things? You don't have to give us the gory details, but what kinds of things went on in the family?
Well, there would be rituals in which babies would be sacrificed, and you would have to,
Whose babies?
There were people who bred babies in our family. No one would know about it. A lot of people were overweight, so you couldn't tell if they were pregnant or not, or they would supposedly go away for a while and then come back.
Now, you were telling us earlier that that the practice with the Kilroy death was a religion called
Palamayombe, which not all people who practice Palamayombe obviously sacrifice. I think what we're looking at is a worship of evil here.
Right.
Taking normal or standard religions and perverting them to the worship of evil.
Right. And I just want to emphasize that you don't have to be Caribbean to do it.
No.
Yes.
The other thing I want to point out, not all Jewish people sacrifice babies. I mean, that's not a very typical thing. I just want to point that out.
This is the first time I heard of any Jewish people sacrificing babies.
My name is Anya Wick, but at birth, I was Anya Beth Epstein. I was born in a house in Boulder. In 2015, I changed my name to Owen Theodore Epstein. In 2020, I changed it again to Anna Petrova. I had realized what I was surrounded by my entire life and thought I could hide from it. And I married a man named Wick, kept that name, and decided to start going public with my story just a few months ago. I had chemically driven amnesia the majority of my life. I am Jeff Epstein's niece, and I was raised as a sex slave.
The ritual abuse is different than other forms of sex trafficking because it's more than just being forced to have sexual relations with someone against your will. It's sacrifices of animals and people. It's in the middle of the night being taken from your home and taken to an undisclosed location. And sometimes they don't remember where they were taken, so then they don't even know if it was real.
My father had me separated from my mother and twin brother and administered a substance that was designed to sever my memory. Every time I was taken to or family vacation or trip to the cabin in the mountains, I was given this drug upon which everything would come flooding back. But when it wore off, so would the majority of my memories of it. And I would try to go to school, perform with my bands, be a regular person. But it broke me subconsciously. I knew something was very wrong, and I had internalized it on myself. And after a suicide attempt in 2015, I got away from the slavery I was in by taking testosterone, transitioning to male. I left Colorado in 2017 and started piecing together back memories that I had assumed were only nightmares in about 2020.
The ritual abuse is different than other forms of sex trafficking because it's more than just being forced to have sexual relations with someone against your will. It's sacrifices of animals and people. It's in the middle of the night being taken from your home and taken to an undisclosed location. And sometimes they don't remember where they were taken, so then they don't even know if it was real.
I think it was David Icke who woke me up to the ancient cults and the bloodlines that continue to these generations. And I think you're the first survivor, perhaps, who's actually detailed how that has continued over the ages. So if you could maybe expand on that a little bit, I think the viewers would find this fascinating.
What specifically would you like expanded on?
So what was the cult that you mentioned earlier, the ancient one?
The cult of Baal. B-A-L.
Yes.
B-A-L.
Yep.
I know very little about it. My family masqueraded themselves as Jewish publicly. But behind closed doors, at Passover dinners, when I was drugged, would admit, we are Satanists.
The video clip you're watching is titled, Romance of a People, Baby Sacrificed to Idol Molech. This event occurred at the Chicago's World Fair in 1933. It was a Jewish historical pageant in which over 150,000 Jews were present and participated in this demonic ceremony. The baby sacrifice scene is explicitly described in archive records. This is the Getty's catalog entry which explicitly describes a false idol Moloch, a priest holding wrapped up baby aloft for sacrifice. He throws baby into statue and you can hear Cass screaming. The 1948ers is a reenactment of Moloch child sacrifice scene as part of the pageant. Whether someone later attempts to label this as theatrical or stage does not change what was publicly performed. I want to be clear, staging the rite is still practicing the rite. The video clip you just watched is titled, Romance of a People, Baby Sacrificed to Idol Molech. This event occurred at the Chicago's World Fair in 1933. It was a Jewish historical pageant in which over 150,000 Jews were present and participated in this demonic ceremony. Should we be surprised at this Molech child sacrificial ritual? Should we be surprised seeing an image of Molech seated on a throne and, to add insult to injury, the tablets of the 10 Commandments behind the idol? I'm going to prove to you that this is what Judaism promotes. Let's start with the following source by R.J. Zoe Werblowski and Jeffrey Wigeter, the Oxford Dictionary of the Jewish Religion entry defining Molech and the worship of Molech. It reads, Molech, Semitic deity worshipped in biblical times, known from Ugaritic and Mesopotamian sources as Moloch. It is likely that Molech figured among the Chthonic gods, that is, those associated with death and the underworld. According to biblical tradition, Molech was worshipped by means of child sacrifice, a practice abhorred and strictly forbidden by Israelite belief and law. Child sacrifice is condemned in the Bible, without mention of the god Molech, as a characteristically repulsive form of Canaanite religion to be shunned by the Israelites. Explicit prohibitions against the worship of Molech are found in Leviticus chapter 18 verse 21 and chapter 20 verses 2 through 5. Sacrificing to Molech is called whoring after him. It desecrates God's name and pollutes his sanctuary. The penalty is death by stoning for the perpetrator and all of his followers. If the court fails to carry out the sentence, the perpetrator and his family are liable to divine punishment. Let's revisit a key deceptive quote from this source. Child sacrifice is condemned in the Bible without mention of the god Molech. This sentence is deceptive by construction. This wording creates a false separation that the Torah itself does not make. The deception is in the phrase without mention of the god Molech. This entry subtly suggests that some child sacrifice is condemned generically, but Molech-specific worship is a different or narrower issue. The Bible condemns child sacrifice, and when it names Molech, it is naming the same act, not a different category. Let's see if we can confirm whether or not the Bible omits Molech when it condemns child sacrifice. Leviticus chapter 18 verse 21 says, And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy Elohim. I am Yahweh. I just read from the King James Bible version, but let's confirm this with the Tanakh. And thou shalt not give any of thy seed to set them apart to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy Elohim. I am Yahweh. Let's go to another rabbinical source to further prove that Judaism allows the worship and sacrificing to Molech. Let's go to the Talmud Sanhedrin 64a. It says, Mishnah, he who gives of his seed to Molech incurs no punishment unless he delivers it to Molech and causes it to pass through the fire. If he gave it to Molech but did not cause it to pass through the fire or the reverse, he incurs no penalty unless he does both. Gemara, the Mishnah teaches idolatry and giving to Moloch. Our Abin said, our Mishnah is in accordance with the view that Moloch worship is not idolatry. For it has been taught, if one causes his seed to pass through the fire, whether to Moloch or to any other idol, he is liable to death. Our Eleazar, son of our Simeon, said, if to Moloch, he is liable, if to another idol, he is not. What the Mishnah is doing with the quote, he who gives of his seed to Moloch incurs no punishment unless he delivers it to Moloch and causes it to pass through the fire. This entry, and more specifically, this quote introduces a double technical requirement, delivery to Molech and passing through fire. If only one occurs, then there's no penalty. The more serious problem is, in the Gemara, is this quote, our Abin said, our Mishnah is in accordance with the view that Molech worship is not idolatry. This is the critical line. It explicitly states that one rabbinic position holds, Molech worship is not idolatry. That is a direct theological reclassification. The real shift taking place in Sanhedrin 64a. The Torah frames the offense as an absolute betrayal of Yahweh. The Mishnah reframes the offense as a narrowly defined cultic crime with procedural requirements. The Gemara then goes further and states openly, Molech worship is not idolatry. This is not an accurate interpretation of Leviticus. It is a blatant deception by way of reclassification. Not only does Judaism, by way of the Talmud, endorses the worship and sacrifices to Molech, but this religious system promotes the usage of charms by way of eggs. Sanhedrin 101a reads, quote, our rabbis taught it is permitted to consult by a charm the spirits of oil or eggs, but that they give false answers. Incantations are made over oil contained in a vessel, but not in the hand. Therefore, one may anoint with the latter, but not with the former.
I know from other victims, and also from my memories, senior people participate in the ritual abuse. Across the country, doctors, elected rabbis, police officers, educators, and also some members of Knesset, and also former members of Knesset, they took part in this abuse from both sides of the political spectrum. Right now it is understood that there are several members of Knesset active and former. A story will be published. I know about much more people. I hope you understood. Obviously, if people are against such strong people, especially when it comes to such vulnerabilities, most of the victims are of not speaking, so it's clear to me because, to me, they are a drop in the ocean of thousands of victims of the ritual abuses in Israel.
30 men, one 16-year-old girl. It's the crime that's shocking the nation. Now, thousands are protesting the gang rape, which allegedly took place in an Eilat hotel room.
I'm here tonight to protest the awful rape of a 16-year-old girl in Eilat by 30 men and the entire rape culture that exists in this country and around the world.
Israel is, a haven for pedophiles. Tens of thousands of pedophiles have been given refuge inside Israel. But the most recent report was, in fact, an investigation. And I think this is important to make this point. These investigations are being carried out by Israeli media. This isn't something that has been concocted external to Israel. And the recent investigation by Israel Hayom into the ritual gang rape by, again, members of the educational community, the religious instruction community, so rabbis, leaders of the community, family members and relatives. This is another very important point to be made. And many of these gang rapes were conducted under some kind of macabre religious ceremony.
A CBS News investigation has uncovered a loophole that allows accused and convicted American pedophiles to escape justice by moving to Israel. So Ian Lee has been following this for more than a year, and he traveled to Israel for this investigation. He worked with a group that tracks people accused of sex crimes, which estimates dozens of Americans have used this loophole.
So, he's 6'2".
We are on a stakeout looking for this man, Jimmy Julius Caro, 48 years old and wanted on charges of sexually assaulting a 9-year-old girl in Oregon back in 2000 and a 5-year-old girl in Israel in 2001. He's considered dangerous. But these photos are a few years old, so we don't know if he'll look the same. He remains elusive. Previous attempts to capture him have failed.
Obviously, the fear that he would somehow figure out that anyone's looking for him and bolt. He just called his number.
Shauna Aronson got a tip that Caro's expected at this clinic near Tel Aviv.
Who's going to call?
She's with JCW, Jewish Community Watch, an organization that hunts down accused pedophiles who flee to Israel from the U.S., exploiting a process called Law of Return, whereby any Jewish person can move to Israel and automatically gain citizenship. The ease with which pedophiles seem able to use this law as an escape route haunts victims like Mendy Hawk, who says he was abused from age 8 by a teacher at an Orthodox Jewish school in Los Angeles.
So your classroom is right here. How does it feel being back?
I was very anxious and, stressed coming back here, and a lot of memories coming through my mind.
Memories of his alleged abuser, Mordechai Yom Tov, who taught him Hebrew studies when he was just 8 years old.
So in the beginning, he would just rub me outside of my pants, and then I would say about 3 to 4 months later, he started going in.
Reaching down your pants?
Yeah, it's reaching down.
Why did you feel like you couldn't tell anyone?
I was scared, I was ashamed. I just didn't know what people would think of me with the whole situation.
Yom Tov pled guilty in 2002 to sexually abusing and committing lewd acts against 3 other boys. He served jail time, but when he was released, he violated his probation and, according to JCW, fled to Israel with help from individuals within the Orthodox Jewish community. JCW tracked Yom Tov down and confronted him with a hidden camera in Jerusalem, where he admitted to illegally fleeing the United States with help and using a fake passport to enter Israel.
I was supposed to stay for 5 years in the same city.
was supposed to, let's see, trying to homicide, you sort of thing. I was supposed to go every 2 weeks to the police station. I left within a week later.
He had this message for his victims.
I'm very, 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 very sorry.
The other person in this video is Mayor Seawald, the founder of Jewish Community Watch. He tells CBS News Yom Tov's case isn't uncommon in the Orthodox community.
The same thing that's going on in the Catholic Church right now around the world, the exact same thing happens in our community. The rabbis say it's, you know what, he promised he's going to go for therapy, he's never going to do it again. Boom, he's in another community. A few years later, he's at the same thing, and we hear more allegations that the person continued to abuse children.
And often, those abusers end up in Israel.
An Israeli official has been indicted by a Clark County grand jury. News 3's James King joins us from the live desk with the crime that he's believed to have committed and what is next. James?
Marie, the indictment of Israeli official Tom Alexandrovich is related to a sex sting operation conducted by Metro Police and other agencies. He was one of 8 suspects arrested in that operation. Now, according to those arrest reports, he's accused of using online platforms to meet a juvenile in Las Vegas. Today, he was indicted for luring children with the use of technology with the intent to engage in sex. Alexandrovich was arrested on August 6th after allegedly attempting to meet a 15-year-old girl and was then taken into custody but released the following day after posting a $10,000 bail. Now, News 3 spoke with attorney Ron Zambrano prior to the Israeli official's first scheduled appearance in court, who said that even if he is found guilty, it's unlikely he'll serve time in the U.S.
Put the car in park. Let me see your hands. Put them on the steering wheel. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Over here. Hands behind your back.
Well, that is an Israeli government official as police arrest him as part of a sex sting. That official was in town for a cybersecurity conference, now facing a sex-related charge.
So prosecutors say he drove to a park to meet a 15-year-old girl.
And videos and evidence the 80s Now investigators obtained show what was said in those chats before police detained him and he left the country.
Get out of the car. Over here. Hands behind your back.
This is the moment Henderson police took 38-year-old Tom Alexandrovich into custody. Alexandrovich, an Israeli government official, accused of meeting a young girl for sex.
You want to grab the cell phone in the middle?
Police say Alexandrovich was in town for a cybersecurity conference. Prosecutors say he drove from his hotel all the way to a park in Henderson to meet that girl, who was really an FBI agent working undercover as part of a sex sting.
You're going to the station, so you have to put your handcuffs.
Police say Alexandrovich met the decoy on a dating app, the conversation then moving over to WhatsApp. Grand jury transcripts revealing in that conversation, the undercover agent told Alexandrovich she was, quote, only 15, and that she's, quote, too young to get into most places. The decoy later asking Alexandrovich to, quote, bring condoms. With the agreement, they meet at the park.
He posted that bond before any judge.
Alexandrovich's attorneys telling a judge during a hearing in September that the app where the conversation began actually requires users be over 18. Transcripts also revealing Alexandrovich felt, quote, pushed when condoms came into the conversation.
Now, hours after his arrest, Alexandrovich posted $10,000 bail, never saw a judge, and left the country.
Artyom Alexandrovich, 38, a senior employee of Israel's National Cybersecurity Court, was among 8 men arrested in Vegas, an FBI joint operation targeting online sexual exploitation of minors, with police stating, "We would like to remind parents to discuss with their children the dangers of engaging with strangers online." Alexandrovich, charged with felony counts of luring a child with a computer for sex acts, was booked at the Henderson Detention Center and released on $10,000 bail, returning to Israel and placed on leave. As a cyber director noted, the employee updated the directorate that during his trip to the United States, he was questioned by the U.S. authorities on matters unrelated to his work, and he returned to Israel at the planned time of return. The operation conducted after 2 weeks also arrested David and a few other guys, all these other names. Go ahead, Vinny.
By the way, this isn't just some low-level tech nerd. This is the acting head of data and AI for Israel's National Cyber Directorate. Okay, he works directly under Bibi Netanyahu. Okay, and that arrest had the sting operation, which was the FBI, Homeland Security, and Nevada Police. They targeted these sex predators. He was in town. Remember that time we were in Vegas? They were doing that black hat hacker. It's the biggest hacker conference in the world. He was there. He's a part of AI. He was booked at Henderson Detention Center and charged with a felony for luring a child online for sex. Okay, that normally goes from 1 year to 20 years in prison. But the next day, and just like I think a couple of the guys as well, because there's 8 of them, posted a $10,000 bond. And despite he has zero diplomatic immunity, he got to go back to Israel. Netanyahu's office put out a statement saying that he was not arrested. He was only questioned, but multiple sources, guys, The Guardian, Jerusalem Post, Israel, Times of Israel, and all confirmed, everybody, including the Henderson County. Rob, you have the police actual arrest that I put? That's the guy. That's him. Okay, he was really booked. This is no BS hearsay. He wasn't the only one caught. Among the other suspects was Pastor Neil Harrison Creasy of Redemption Church in Las Vegas. Weird. He was also arrested in the sting. He resigned from his church shortly after being released from the same $10,000 bond. Here's my only problem, guys. If you're a foreign national and you're trying to lure a child in America to have sex, you don't post bail and leave. Normally, Pat, because I did a lot of research, your passport is seized, your travel is restricted, and you're considered a flight risk, okay? The fact that he was let to go back to Israel within 24 hours means somebody, federal government, I don't know, Rob, can we try to find out who is the district attorney of Henderson County? And that's actually a really good question, in Las Vegas. It's just weird, Pat. You can't, none of those other guys, even if they posted bail, you can't leave the country. Because who's to say that you're not going to be able to come back? You can't just leave. They're supposed to take your Tom, do you know, like, you're supposed to take your passport.
Yeah, there's flight risk. Bail is directly related to flight risk. Like Diddy, they said he's got all these private planes. He could go to Belize. He could go to somewhere. Remember that?
He was sexually abused by a trusted teacher and then was shunned by his community as he tried to get justice.
And Janine, the teen you're about to meet is the first sex abuse victim from New Square to ever seek justice from the courts.
He told me that he has the ability to read the palm of my hands.
Yossi's life coach started to read other parts of his body. That ritualistic abuse, Yossi says, dragged on 3 times a week for 4 agonizing months, each time Taubenfeld ordering him to stay silent.
Digging deeper tonight, new concerns about an alleged epidemic of sex abuse being covered up in New York's ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Jewish community.
A New York rabbi arrested in Beverly Hills, accused of molesting children in Brooklyn.
Menachem Tewel, who also goes by the name Mendel Tefel, is a rabbi. During the last year, he's worked here at this Jewish center, JEM, in Beverly Hills, doing outreach work with children and teenagers. And Tuesday, he was arrested here on a warrant from New York, accusing him of 2 counts of criminal sexual acts and 1 count of sexual abuse.
I was 7 times a victim of molestation, 7 separate molesters.
In a unanimous decision, New York City's Department of Health agreed parents must first give their written consent before allowing Moyles to perform a controversial part of the Jewish circumcision ritual.
We have clearly identified that one specific procedure that's performed as part of some circumcisions, what we're calling direct oral suction, can be transmitting infections to infants.
The new regulations, the first in the country, come after health officials identified 11 babies who contracted herpes from the oral part of the circumcision. 2 of them died. The Centers for Disease Control has stated the procedure is not safe.
Not only is it a safe method, it's the safest method.
Rabbi William Handler calls this a direct attack on the ultra-Orthodox Jewish community and its customs, and says government is overstepping its bounds. Cantor Philip Sherman says he's performed more than 20,000 circumcisions, 6 just today. He says this is not about Jewish tradition, but rather everyone's well-being.
Now, today, we know that germs can be transferred, diseases can be transferred from the baby to the moil, and from the moil to the baby. So therefore, you can continue this custom by using a sterile tube, a gauze pad, and the rest of the bris is fine.
Health officials say it is going to be very difficult to enforce these regulations. They say that's because they really can't monitor moils as they perform circumcisions. They say it is first going to take a complaint from someone before they can take any action.
For centuries, when a Jewish baby boy is born, the ancient ritual of circumcision is performed. But in some ultra-Orthodox communities, religious leaders, known as moyals, also engage in something controversial during the bris. In a practice known as Metzitze B'Peh, or just MBP, the moil actually uses his mouth to suck the blood from the infant's penis after he cuts off the foreskin. Meant to prevent infection and serve as a celebration of life, News 12 has learned the little-known practice has turned into a curse for life for some babies involved in our area. And it's all because of a local rabbi who's alleged to have a sexually transmitted disease.
The rabbis are going to take care of it. They won't let him get away with it.
According to these documents we obtained from the state health department, Rabbi Yitzhak Fisher of Muncie has been tied to at least 3 herpes infections in babies, one of whom died back in 2004. Shortly after the tragic death, Rabbi Fisher was forbidden from practicing NBP in New York. But despite this state-issued ban, one concerned mother tells us the infected moil is still placing innocent lives at risk.
3 Jewish moyals in Belgium are facing criminal charges, accused of illegally performing ritual Jewish circumcisions. For thousands of years, moyals have been instrumental in performing the Brit Milah on the 8th day after a boy's birth. However, Belgium, which has seen a surge of anti-Semitism, has laws mandating all circumcisions be performed by licensed doctors. And last year, Antwerp police made several arrests after a raid. Joining us now from Brussels is Avi Tail, the director of the European Jewish Community Center of Brussels. Hello, and thank you for being here, unfortunately, under these circumstances.
Hi, hello, Emily. Nice to see you. Thank you very much.
Sure. So explain, I know this has been an ongoing source of pain, intimidation towards the Jewish community, within your country. Explain the demoralizing feeling and how people are dealing with this.
Yeah, so Jewish life is natural to Europe, and the Brit Milah has been part of Jewish life for literally thousands of years in Europe. The Belgian Jewish community is a wonderful community contributing to society in all branches of life. The Antwerp Jewish community, it's a thriving Jewish community, and I think this is a defining crisis, because criminalizing such a Jewish practice, which is in the core of Jewish life, many of us wonder if there is a future for the Jewish community in Belgium.
What are the Belgian authorities doing now with so many Jews who were deported from all over Belgium straight to Auschwitz? They were collaborationists with the Nazis. They are now prosecuting 2 rabbis for doing circumcisions. And officially, now, there's tons of Muslims. They're my brothers. Islamists live there. They're not my brothers. They're killers and terrorists. But there's tons of Muslims, and they circumcise their children at 13, and they're not being prosecuted. But the Jews are. Is active anti-Semitism? Of course it is. It's Belgium. What do you expect? But here's the point. Belgium's official reason is that the Muslims are using doctors, right, Gabe, like in a hospital, and the Jews are using ritual circumcises, what we call a moel. Let me tell you something. A moel has, a ritual circumciser, 1,000 times more experience than any doctor doing a circumcision.
Kosher sex, on the cover you see it's great sex is a calculated performance, and kosher sex is a total submission to instinct, where you just let yourself go.
Hi everyone, out of an abundance of gratitude to our friend and brother Mohammed Ijab, who debated me on Piers Morgan. Millions of people watched it. Intimacy Company with Hannah it's based on my book. He gave us international promotion, and in recognition, what are we doing for him?
So we're gonna have the Mohammed Hijab discount, and you can put in a promo code at the end of checkout.
And as you check out, if you're buying a vibrator, he kept on bringing up vibrators in the debate. If you're buying lubricants, he kept on bringing up lubricants. Hannah, in the regular classes that you and I do and the advice we give, people writing in, a lot of them are men who are dealing with a lot of aggression in their lives, a lot of false machismo. They know that they're
overcompensating.
They're overcompensating, they're overcompensating because they feel that they're kind of miniature in a physical department, when they really should not feel bad about that.
I actually did a post on this.
Sex in Judaism provides the most intimate way of knowing someone, and I think especially in marriage, it's very hard to maintain lust. And so I wanted products to bring to people that don't substitute their husband or their wife. It's something that can enhance the experience.
Let's say a lesbian or a gay couple come in, is there a different message for them? Because I know some religious groups might not be so accepting.
Anyone who believes in commitment and bringing love into this world and being intimate with someone and wants to learn, they're welcome here. It does say in the Torah that there are issues with homosexuality, but my dad, we were always brought up with the idea that if, there's 613 mitzvot for everyone to keep, and if you can't keep one, you keep this, or two, or whatever it is, whatever number, you keep the rest and you do as much as you can. That's Judaism.
The U.S. ambassador to Belgium was just summoned by the Belgian government after he demanded they drop an investigation into mohels who suck blood from babies' penises during circumcision. The U.S. ambassador to Belgium, Bill White, appointed by President Trump, posted on social media accusing Belgium of anti-Semitism and harassment of the Jewish community in connection with a criminal investigation in Antwerp into 3 Jewish religious figures, mohels, suspected of performing circumcisions without a licensed doctor present. He urged Belgium to drop the case and legalize traditional ritual circumcision under religious freedom arguments. The clash spotlights broader tensions between European nations and the Trump administration's envoy approaches. The ambassador maintained he was defending religious freedom, but acknowledged Belgium is not anti-Semitic.
The Trump administration is demanding the anti-Semitic charges be dropped. Let me repeat that. The Trump administration is demanding the anti-Semitic charges be dropped. So when I first read this, I was like, hold up. Nobody's more inclined to believe some anti-Trump issue than your boy. Y'all know that. Everybody knows that. And I believe it because I think that issue is true as fuck, and there's so much evidence for it. However, I was like, I better look, before I take this to my audience, I better do a little Googlington, okay? I better do a little Google skis and find out real quick. Is this true? It's true. It's actually true. It's true. The Trump regime is saying, how dare you? You should drop the charges. You should drop the charges and let them keep sucking the tips of babies' heads.
So, Ian, obviously, when the Epstein files came out, the Epstein library on the DOJ's website, there were just millions of data points. And it's one thing to get all of this information. It's another thing to piece it all together. We know the island has gotten a lot of public attention. But, Ian, what do we know about this ranch property?
Yeah, so this Zorro Ranch is a sprawling ranch in New Mexico. Jeffrey Epstein bought it in 1993 and owned it until he passed. Now, when you look at the Epstein files, there are some parts of it that mention this ranch. And one in particular has a lot of people asking questions. And that mentions 2 foreign girls who were murdered and buried on that ranch.
Basically, they're telling people, if you're Mossad, you can get away with anything. The same thing that would happen with Tom Alexandrovich, the cybersecurity guy from Netanyahu's government who was arrested in Nevada for trying to lure a minor in an FBI stint operation, and he got off the hook. He traveled. He didn't even have to attend his trial. He did Zoom from Israel. And like Ori Solomon, just a couple of days ago, there was a biolab in Nevada that nobody is actually talking about. Actually, as a matter of fact, the mainstream media, they reported it, but they never mentioned his nationality as an Israeli who was running a biolab in Nevada that includes deadly viruses. If that was a Muslim, it would be like all over the news. So basically, Mr. Dershowitz is telling us, if you're Mossad, you have like an out of jail card. And you know what? Maybe he's right.
Or a CIA, or a CIA agent. That's true.
Mr. Dershowitz, I did not interrupt you a single second when you talked. So like after you're done with the gaslighting, please let me finish. First of all, I think I'm now kind of leaning towards believing mainstream media, especially CBS and CNN under Barry Weiss and Larry Ellison. The evidence is there that he is actually a Russian asset. His girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, was the daughter of a Mossad super spy. He was represented by you, Mr. Dershowitz, Israel's favorite lawyer, who you're also a lawyer to the Mossad, which, of course, everything you tell us will be true.
Jeffrey Epstein's bank account was called Baal, the ancient Canaanite deity which people had sacrificed their children to. A victim's diary shows that she was impregnated multiple times and forced to give birth for Ghislaine and Epstein. Israel is mentioned twice as much as Donald Trump in the new documents.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to discuss this administration's massive cover-up of the Epstein files in order to conceal President Trump's involvement. This cover-up reached its apex last month when Attorney General Pam Bondi falsely testified under oath before the House Judiciary Committee. The Attorney General testified, quote, "There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that," unquote. This is a lie. In the 3 million or so documents that the DOJ has disclosed to Congress under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, there is credible evidence that Donald Trump committed a crime. And that, of course, excludes the nearly 3 million pages that the DOJ is refusing to turn over. Donald Trump is mentioned thousands of times in the Epstein files. There are multiple allegations that he sexually assaulted young girls. But I want to focus on one victim's allegations that the FBI unquestionably found to be credible. The DOJ tried to hide reports of 3 of the 4 interviews that this victim gave to the FBI, but pressure from the media and Congress forced them to disclose them. And now we know why. She credibly accuses Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her when she was between 13 and 15. In each of her interviews, this victim recited the same account of her interaction with Donald Trump. On August 7th, 2019, she explained that she was between 13 and 15 when she was left alone with Donald Trump, who, quote, mentioned something to the effect of, "Let me teach you how little girls are supposed to be." Trump unzipped his pants and put her head down, quote, down to his penis, bit the S out of it. Trump struck the victim and said words to the effect of, "Get this little B the hell out of here." The victim advised that she bit Trump's penis because he disgusted her. She provided some additional details in the next interview 2 weeks later, and then a month later, she met again with the FBI and asked, quote, what the point would be of providing the information at this point in her life when there was a strong possibility nothing could be done about it. She didn't speak to the FBI again. But the FBI certainly found her story credible. In a 21-page PowerPoint presentation that the FBI made to prosecutors, they included this victim's testimony. They would not have done so if they did not find the evidence credible, which means that Attorney General Bondi lied when she stated under oath that there is no evidence that Donald Trump committed a crime. But we're just scratching the surface, because the Epstein files also reveal that Donald Trump has made false statements over the past quarter century about Jeffrey Epstein. We know in 2002 he called him a terrific guy and said, quote, "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." In a birthday card, 2003, that Donald Trump gave to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday, Donald wrote for himself that we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Enigmas never aged. Have you noticed that? A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. But in that same year, Palm Beach County opened an investigation into Epstein that eventually was turned over to the FBI. The investigation became public in 2006, and the Palm Beach County police chief received a call quickly after from Donald Trump, where Trump told him, "Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this." What innocent person calls the police chief about an investigation upon just learning about it? The recent documents also show that Jeffrey Epstein emailed Ghislaine Maxwell and said, quote, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned." Trump also denied that he ever went on Epstein's plane. But of course, the Southern District of New York said that he was on his plane 8 times, often with young women. The reason why this matters is because we don't have half of the Epstein files. And if the Attorney General is covering this up in such a degree that she is redacting things from Congress, that she then, redacting things from the public that she then shows to Congress, what else is she covering up? And I would just show that this document here was redacted to the public, it was unredacted to Congress, and it completely disputes everything that Donald Trump has said about Jeffrey Epstein, about what he knew about the allegations, about his disgusting behavior, about whether he'd ever been to Epstein's house, saying, "I may have been there with my wife." Asked if any young girls were there. No. He may have had children of guests, but that's it. Well, we know that's not the case. Now, why is this important? Because if the Attorney General is covering up this information that she then reveals to Congress, what else is she covering up about Donald Trump's involvement in the Epstein files?
Here he is discussing with Roger Schank, a Jewish American academic and hedge fund worker, saying Jews create vast fortunes by manipulating markets and creating financial speculation and exploiting labor. He says, let the Goyim deal in the real world. In a discussion with the Rothschild family, Epstein says if they overthrew the Ukrainian government, there would be great opportunities. The Rothschild family paid Epstein $25 million for certain algorithms. While talking to Peggy Seigel, August 7th of 2010, she asks if an event is going to be 100% Jewish. He says no, they'll have Goyim in abundance. But don't worry, they're just brilliant wasps from JP Morgan. Joshua Finkelstein, BlackRock's Larry Finkelstein's son, is accused of not having any respect for non-Jews, seeing them as not human. This is from his ex-girlfriend, Svetlana. He pressures her to have an abortion. In 2017, Epstein has a conversation talking about if you want to hire the best people, you have to hire only Jews. Only hire those who can prove they are genetically Jewish. Maria Farmer, one of the first victims to come out and name Epstein.
I wasn't allowed to go get food. And when I called Ghislaine and asked why I couldn't eat there, she said, it's a Jewish country club. You're not Jewish. They're not going to serve you. They, honest to God, think their DNA is better than everybody else's.
Said that their operation was motivated by Jewish supremacy.
Now the Epstein files are public. People can read them. People can see the horrible stuff that you, again, are gaslighting us. In your own word, you said that he's not a pedophile because he liked 15 and 16 years old, but not 11 and 12 years old.
No, I said 17 and 10 months.
People can read,
17 and 10
you
months.
can read the ages of the kids in the emails. They can read about the pizza, the ice cream, the beef jerky.
Convicted.
And you can see the connection with Israel. And yet, here you are again, gaslighting us. This is your playbook, attacking the victims.
It's called
the Palestinians, Hamas,
it's
terrorists.
called truth.
Epstein victims, liars, prostitutes, drama students, and of course,
you say Hamas are not terrorists?
You have a history
You say
of
Hamas are
hiring
not
investigators to dig through teenage girls at MySpace pages looking for marijuana photos.
What lawyers
You
do.
called a 16-year-old girl a thief in the Daily Mail. You got Epstein 13 months in county jail with work release for abusing 34 victims.
There is something special about you, Judah. There is something special about you, Israel, or Yashara'al. When I say Judah, Yahwadah. That is the ancient pronunciation of the word. There is something special about you, Judah. Yahweh only spoke to you, to us, as a nation. And he spoke to no other nation. That's why we are supposed to be what? That light. We're Yah's chosen people. supposed to be the nation that's teaching the nations, not the nations teaching us.
Lion of Judah come upon the earth, bringing unquenchable fire. All the tribes of Israel and the believers stand in power. Speak with authority, worship uncontrollably. There's something about you, Judah. Fire upon the kingdom of darkness. We may suffer for a little while, but joy cometh in the morning.
Judah special, no wonder we were a chosen vessel. In and out of captivity, weaving like a pretzel. Messiah come through the tribe, clean out the bloodline. We disciples, so put us up on the front line. Face to face with crime, cause we ain't scared to grind. When you connect the divine, we stay pressed for time. Evangelize, get defined, put us in prison in. Worship first, we always invite the spirit in. Hold revival through a pen, stacking souls in empty bins. Joy in the morning, this a warning, you will never win. Fire upon the head of the serpent, he next tail chirping. It's too late cause your tail's already burning. I don't want your riches, gotta match it with gold streets. Rubies all around me, the light shine, no police. The living used to be deceased, resurrected to a feast. Nothing like being in peace at the table with the meat.
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons. For real, and these were the children of Israel, according to Genesis chapter 10. These were the children of Israel, according to Genesis chapter 10. These were the children of Israel, according to Genesis chapter 10.